Hello, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. I see Z4, Rose Girl, and MT. What's up, guys? Welcome. Apologies that the stream isn't quite fully set up. I was very optimistic at how fast I was going to be able to get my second capture card hooked up. Thought it would be like a minute. It ended up being all 5. Yeah, because I had to find another USB-C cable for it. Previously, what I've been doing is I've been using the USB cable I keep in my car for my phone. That one's still in my car right now, and I was like, nah, I don't need to, I was like, you know what? I should actually get around to the point where, like, I have a capture card cable and a phone cable, and there'd be 2 separate cables. It's a bold assumption of mine. Newly in a fresh hairdo, yee, kind of new. Okay, so, alright, this save, let's just go ahead and make sure that's saved, because that's my main save right there. Up to 360 Pokemon in my Pokedex, my main save. Making some good progress here. Do I have Pearl in this system? Pearl's not in this system, okay. Use that resetting. Okay, so this system's set up properly. This is not what the heck. What are you having problems with? Did I unplug something? Let's put it in. I don't know if the TV's gonna be on or not today. We'll find out. Also, where is Pearl? Is it not in here? Pearl's in there? It just wasn't reading. There we go. So let's go ahead and make sure the controller is set up properly. I believe. Okay, yeah, change that. Always the change here is the control stick to left stick. Then hit home. That was bad because it didn't save anything. I am dumb. But hope you guys have been having a good day. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Apologies for the stream being a little bit scuffed here at the start, but we're making it work. We're making it work. Rose Girl. Funny thing is a Christmas movie both times. Pichu. The Christmas movie brought the luck. Hey, what's going on, Bear? What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Got fresh for you guys. You know it. Yeah, this one's strange. Do I not have it plugged in right back here? Plug a cable? No. I did unplug a cable. It has like one level of clicking and then a second level. Granted, this is still being funky and not working. Weirdness. Apologies for that. I believe we're at 1900 encounters. Let me get that fixed too. Am I still shiny hitting PIPLUP? Yes, I am, Bear. That is something I'm working on getting set up right now, but there are a few things that I just did not get set up in time today. I'm usually not prepared, but like today I'm extra not prepared. Yeah, so I believe it's 1900. We're working off that. If it is incorrect, someone please correct me. And with that, we're actually good to go. This is just being silly. Had a party this weekend, broke out your your dancing Ian moves. Alright, hope the party was fun, man. At least someone had fun. Honestly, your coin container without telling you she didn't put anything towards it, so you're just still around 150. What the heck? Why would... That's ridiculous. Sounds like a mindless glitch in the setup. I did rework a lot of stuff this weekend. Like, I'm not surprised at... More scuff, of course, of course. Can't have functional hardware on one of these streams. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I still really want, like, again, obviously, like, this donation goal, as I've talked about, is going towards effectively paying off this the second Switch that we're using here. But any leftover money from that, and potentially the next donation goal, is just going to be a second internal capture card. Because those work so much better. We never have issues with this capture. This capture's worked flawlessly for like a year now since I installed that cap card. Or not quite a year, but you know what I'm saying. So like, it's kind of one of those. It's one of those things, right? Where it's like I should just get another one of those to be continued. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. So. I don't know why it's working now, but it is. But yeah, so I reworked it. I need advice. Should you get a new OLED Switch system? Depends on if you need a new Switch, even if it's not OLED. That's my honest like kind of answer. There is, if you just need a new Switch in general, that's actually the point where I'd say it's worth getting an OLED. If you just want an OLED, the only way I would say it is like quote-unquote worth it would be if you were able to then like make that money back by selling your current Switch or something. Yeah, if you're in the market for a new Switch regardless of its OLED or not, definitely go for the OLED. If you just want the OLED Switch because it's the OLED Switch and it's newer, it's not really worth it that much. Take it as someone who just ended up buying a normal Redbox V2 Switch after the OLED was out just because it was available. Because that's really what it came down to, is it was available. Sure, I wanted the OLED Switch, but like, it's not a big enough thing for me to have not been able to dual stream day one. It's not a big enough thing to like be worth waiting for, really, in my opinion. Capture card dying, rip. Like, it doesn't always have problems, but sometimes it does. Hope Nintendo eventually releases a 4K system. While I agree, while I think it would be nice, and I get that there are people out there who would probably use it, Nintendo games don't use that high fidelity, which is kind of a crummy excuse. And then my other excuse is, I don't... The only 4K screen I would potentially play a Switch on is the one TV in this house I don't put my Switch on. That TV's 1080, which obviously that TV's big enough 4K could kind of matter, but that TV's 1080, it was $0, I'm not complaining. And my monitors here are 1440, but I usually play in windowed mode if I play, or I play like on the go. So for me, a 4K Switch isn't that big of a deal, especially if it would end up killing performance in other regards. But yeah, the Switch, if people are looking for a 4K Nintendo system, the Switch ain't it. The form factor is just too small to actually do like proper gaming at 4K. What am I gonna do after I get a shiny PIPLUP? The world is our oyster at that point. We'll be doing a ton of Poker Radar hunting. We'll be doing hunts like Spiritomb, the Eterna Forest duel hunts, all that kind of fun stuff. We'll be making a whole big thing out of it. We're gonna be trying to catch as many shinies as we can in these games. I find it funny that at the start of all this, I was like, I'm gonna catch as many shinies in BDSP as I can between the release of the games and like Legends coming out, and then here we are, nearly a month into the games being out. We are a week away from being a month into these games being out. I've done like 3 different hunts. we've found like 5 shinies on stream. That's it. We've had basically 2 successful hunts. But yeah, I do have plans to do a ton of other stuff. Poker Radar is super good in these games. Inkling Joker, what's going on? Sorry for not noticing you earlier. Welcome to the stream. Funny story, you're playing Heart Gold, your first ever Pokemon game, trying to grind levels for your Pokemon, and just encounter a shiny tentacle while leveling up your Pokemon. Nice! Hey, Silver Belton, what's going on? Yesterday you got your first Poker Radar shiny. It was a Mime Jr. with only a chain of 12. Nice! And going for Kecleon right now. Sweet. mainly play on your 4K TV. Still not past the Turn of Forest. Hey, and I mean, yeah, like people who play on the 4K TVs, it makes more sense there. I would still make an argument, even though I am like very much a fan of high refresh rate gaming. I feel like a lot of things where it's like 4K 120. Who has a 4K 120 TV? I think 4K 120 is a bit much. 4K 60 is like kind of pushing it on most modern TVs still. Like that's kind of their upper limit. So yeah, 4K 60 system, I'd be more than happy with that. But again, for me, it doesn't matter right now. If that TV was 4K 60 and I played on it more often than I do, the main thing that TV does is this, and like Chromecasting YouTube or Netflix when I'm working on like cleaning up this room in here. Like I've been working on getting most of the stuff off the floor. Finally to a point, there's not a massive pile of crap on the floor. I've been here for like 3 months now, and that's finally mostly gone. Right now, all that's on my floor now is the box for my Ring Fit, which I just don't have a place to display it because it's like at least a kind of a nice looking box, and I try to display most of my Switch things. A pile of 3D printer filament spools, because I also want to make a nice little station for those. And one unopened packing box, one unopened moving box that is unopened because there's a cat bed on it, and my cat likes to sit there. As was on my floor, there's a pile of like Nessaberry, like plushies and stuff behind me. That's largely for sound deadening until I get another bookshelf in here and put them on that. Yo, George, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. So unlucky, 3,800 resets so far for Chimchar. About to go over odds. I hope you get it soon. I hope you don't go over odds. And Empty, you got a new LED Batman mouse pad. It took about a month to get though. Hey, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping... I've managed to kind of luck out this year. There's one gift that needs shipping of sorts, and it's gonna be very strange shipping. And then the rest of my like the Christmas gifts I'm getting people, I'm actually finding in stores this year. Thank goodness. Last year, my sister and I got my dad an Xbox Series S, and that was a rough one to get. That was a very rough one to get, because yeah, that was a pain. That was awful. I was planning on spending like the day before Christmas Eve, and Christmas like up at my mom's and just taking all the gifts with me. I left late from my apartment because like I was waiting on it to show up despite having ordered it like a month ahead. Fortunately, none of that this year. All of my shipping stress for the past 2 years basically was last year, and then this year hopefully is easy. In the future, TVs are going to look more realistic than real life. I know I've definitely had this thought before, and I think a lot of people always have like right now things are like perfect. How could you get better? And then of course they do. Like the biggest one right now is just more and more HDR. We're kind of to the point where unless you keep going like ridiculously big with TVs, like 75+ inch TVs, there's not a lot of advantage to be gained with like going to like 8K and stuff. So, or 6K, I guess would also kind of be like the next step. So I don't know, like, yeah, obviously TVs are getting to that point, but I don't know what the next, like, big thing is. So go beyond, like, obviously resolution bumping up to 8K, because it's gonna happen for marketing reasons, high refresh rate, and then, like, HDR, a high dynamic range. What even else can TVs do at this point that isn't trying to go back to the 3D gimmick again? What else could TVs do at this point to be more realistic? It's crazy. We live in an amazing time technologically, right? Like, the insanity you can get with TVs. 8K TVs are now becoming a thing. Yeah, 8K TVs are a thing. 8K gaming is not a thing, but it actually kind of is. Also, 1 second. I'm doing an only shiny run and still no PIPLUP. Best of luck to you. Ooh, sorry, I got a text I had to respond to. Scent-o-vision. Smell-o-vision. Yes, make smell-o-vision an actual thing. I'm not actually down for that, I'm gonna be real. I feel like I watch too many shows that are set in, like, dystopian, like sewer areas. Mainly the one, like, imagine, like, playing a game or something. Or watching a show. And just, like, it's like, oh, we're in, like, the sewers now. And it just, your house smells like sewer. I'm not for that. Maybe in the future, TVs will control your toasters and ovens and microwaves. But why? Those should control the TV. We should have toasters. We should have, like, toasters and microwaves that when your food finishes, just pause the TV for you. Give me my smart toaster. Imagine selling, like, hoarders with that. Oh God, no. You know that would be used for, like, advertising more than anything, right? Like, the first content ever produced with Smell-O-Vision would be the tech demo and, like, food ads. Like, they already do that, right? Like, isn't it, like, a thing that, like, Dunkin' Donuts pays to have, like, effectively Dunkin' Donuts, like, scented air fresheners in buses? And it'll, like, spritz them a little bit before a stop that's near a Dunkin' Donuts in certain countries? Like, we're already to that point, right? Smart Sister has no more bread for you. Drink water. I got my water. How smell of every food commercial. Exactly. Exactly. But guys, so my big weekend thing, I know a long time ago at this point, I don't even know if the person who asked this still comes to streams regularly, but someone about a month, maybe a month and a half ago asked, like, oh, what's your stream setup look like? You should post a picture. And I said, I will post one at night. I haven't because my desk is such a mess. I've been working on redoing that, and I've been working on cleaning it up. I've finally been doing some needed cable management down below the desk. You can kind of see a cable hanging down right there, and I'm not sure which one I'm pointing at this point. I think it's an unplugged one from, like, a USB capture card, or from, like, my 3DS capture card or something. But I digress. But I've been working on getting everything managed, and one of the things I did in the process, since I was already kind of taking down a lot of stuff, I redid the lighting. I redid all of the desk lighting. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the lighting now goes all the way around the desk, around the back of the desk. The rogue cable. Yeah, there's a bunch of rogue cables right now. When I'm done with it, there won't be, but there's a lot of work to that. I might end up having to disassemble a large chunk of the desk to do one of the things I want to do, which sucks because I've wired most of it at this point. I kind of might risk standing on it with a hole saw at this point, because I've got all the wires behind my monitors, like, done up properly. And yo, gamer, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Get that penguin. I'm trying. Getting fancy with the lighting. Yeah, I am a little bit disappointed from a stream perspective. So before I had the like blue light, I think, on the desk, and I had like a pink light in the corner. I took the light out of the corner because the light that was in the corner and the light that was on the desk were the same, like, type of light. They were these, like, bar lights that a lot of times we used to mount behind TVs for lighting. So I mounted them behind my TV. You can't see the glow because there's a fill light there. Okay, like, dang it. So let's see. If I go into the Elgato control stuff on my phone, what if I turn off that fill light? Yeah, it doesn't show up that much brighter just because this light's still overpowering. Let's see if I go into my control for the lights. Do I have a... Let's see if I have a scene set up that'll make them look good. Light cable action. Let's see. So if I go in here, does this one look better? Nah, that doesn't show up very well. That doesn't look all that different for you guys anyways. What about that? You can kind of see it. You can kind of see it change. You can see all the ones under there change. Like the difference, like it goes from blue, just like a warm white. This is honestly, this desk lighting, the light behind the TV, and one lamp I have in the corner that change with it, are enough lighting for this room. with outside of streaming. When streaming, it's not enough, because now it like lights up the floor and stuff too. It's like got this good glow everywhere. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm glad I did it. But yeah, you can kind of see it changing behind the TV. It's a nice effect, like normally. It's a nice effect normally. Yellow light, yee. Yeah, so I have them all set up and I can control from my phone or my Stream Deck and stuff. And I need to get just like one of the little fake light switches that hooks into it, so I can just like hit that and turn them on and stuff. But that's getting a little bit fancier than I need, you know. Yo, Marcus, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Wish you all the shiny luck to you. Thank you. You're hunting PIPLUP and just hit 60 hours. No, it's not the longest hunt in the world, but the struggle is real. This hunt is incredibly long despite being like 4096 odds. You know, like you would look at this and you would think that even compared to, you know, a diamond and pearl hunt from back in the day, this one would be worse, or this one would be better. Those might be like twice as many encounters on average. These are like double, if not more than double length encounters from diamond and pearl. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Best of luck to you, Marcus. Hope you have the shiny luck as well. I wish you the shiny luck too, man. In Pokemon Sword, you have almost half of the box of shinies. Nice. I don't have all that many shinies in Sword and Shield. I didn't play a whole lot of it. Pokemon Sun is where I have most of mine. Room light is a smart light, so you can change the type of color, light, and intensity. Yeah, dude, they're really nice. They're really nice. Like, I feel like smart lights are one of those things where people think like, oh, it's just being like lazy and stuff like that. Nah, there's an element of that. I will agree. But what is really nice is just like, aside from going a little bit above and beyond, right? Because like a lot of these are all Philips Hue stuff, just because I bought Philips Hue initially and it impressed me, and I was like, you know what? If I'm getting, especially light strips, my sister, I feel like I am like on the older side of Gen Z and missed the LED light strip my bedroom craze, because I don't think that really happened until I went to college, and at that point, like, I did computery things, and any money I had to put towards a dorm or apartment room went towards computery things. So I never got into like the light strips. My sister always like found the cheapest light strips she could, because, you know, she was in high school and didn't have a whole lot of money, and would just like, you know, line her room with them. And even the same brand purchased in the same order would never light up the right color. So that's why I went with these, because I knew like one single LED strip wasn't going to cut it for this desk. So it's one strip, like one main LED strip, and like 2 or 3 extensions that come off it, and they're all identically colored. Yo, Marcus, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. So, you know, like, my big thing was I wanted to make sure if I tell them to be blue, they're all going to be the same blue, right? So I put a little, I know they're a little bit more pricey because of that, but I put that money in, and I think it's worth it. So, but yeah, so like these have been really nice. And I used to, in my old apartment, you know, like if you go back to the streams pre like September, you'll see my old apartment, and I'd initially gotten the smart lights for there, because what was really nice with them is, I imagine a lot of you either through doing school at home or from working from home for the past year, it sucks when like you don't, like, as much as it's nice not having to go to a school or go to an office, it sucks when your like usual comfort relaxation space becomes for 8 hours a day your workspace. And I know for like the first, gosh, I don't even know how many months of everything it would have been, but I guess it would have been like within the first 4 months of everything. So like I would say like in the first like 3 or 4 months of the pandemic, things felt terrible because I never felt like I left work. And I ended up buying the lights, kind of, for one, as a fun little like purchase, because every once in a while I feel like you got to do that. So they were kind of a fun purchase, but then it also ended up being really, really nice because I could basically have like my work light settings. So like I had like a super like just like very, very cold and like clinical kind of like fluorescent white lighting. That was my work lighting that I would just be able to like say like, you know, Google, I'm starting work or activate work lights, and it would turn them onto that, and then I could just say at the end of the day, I'm done with work, and it would change them to a much different white. And that legitimately helped so much, man. 12 Days of Christmas, the in-stream special. I guess we are in the 12 Days of Christmas now, right? My 12 Days of Christmas will most likely include and go after Christmas. I'm going to be off of work starting on the 22nd, and I will have through the 2nd of January off, because that'll be like the first Sunday in January. I basically be back to work on the 3rd. But yeah, all the time from the 22nd until the 3rd, I'll be off. So prepare for a ton of streams during then. I think it'll be a bit more haphazard, but there will be a good number of streams. You know, obviously I'll have family things I'm doing and various other just like winter break from work kind of things. I'm relaxing and everything, but yeah, for the most part, there should be a ton of streams that we do during that time. Mitchie, what's going on? Your 3DS hit the table a little hard and the battery fell out. Oh no! Desk was already messy and online school made it messier. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember, but for me what ended up happening is, yeah, my desk became a mess because I had kind of done cable management, and then that all fell apart when I had to redo cable management with work stuff in mind. I had to get like a laptop dock and all that stuff for my desk and wire up my monitors not only to my gaming PC but also to my laptop dock, and then the laptop dock didn't work very well. There was a whole like just slew of problems with that, but I only did that for like a week or two. I realized, like, as much as I kind of say like it sucked so hard just being in the same room for as long as I was, like, every day, and like having to do work for most of that day, and then like just tell my body and like my brain like, all right, we're done, you don't have to worry about it anymore. And of course it doesn't listen. That's not how our brains are structured. So it sucked for that reason, because like I never really was able to turn off work mode. And it was even worse that first like week and a half when like I was like, all right, I'm literally going to use the same desk for everything, right? Like that becomes even more of a problem. Like, my desk is where I sit to like enjoy like games and relax and talk with friends, and now suddenly I'm taking work meetings and spending 8 hours a day staring at code right there, and like it was not fun. So that stopped very quickly, but even then, like, the most I could do was like move to my couch. So I did increase my commute quite a bit there. Instead of it basically went to me walking from my couch to my desk, from the previous horrid situation of hit a single button and it would swap my keyboard and mouse and my webcam and my mic back over to my main computer, and then like hit the buttons on my monitors to switch their input, and that was all I did to like end the day. And like that was horrible. So that's part of why it's really nice to be in this house now as opposed to that apartment, is I have more spaces I can be. Like even if like at the end of the day I have one office here that is both my office and my stream room and like any of that other stuff all together, at the very least, like if I need to do work stuff and want to make it so that like when I finish the day I can like go somewhere else, I can take the laptop out to the living room and sit on the couch for a while and just work there for a bit. Or, you know, I can work over here instead of having to work, like, on these monitors and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff I can do to, like, kind of break up the monotony of it that I couldn't do before. So it's nice. Hey, what's going on, John? Welcome to the stream. Your desk is a landfill. I've been slowly getting mine back from that state. Mine fell into that state. I want to make it organized. You can kind of see a bit of the mess here that's kind of a leftover from starting to clean. There's some stuff over there from 3D printing some things. I made a Lego Christmas wreath, hung it on my front door today on the printer. That was pretty cool. So like that kind of thing, you know, I've been printing for a while, and so I got a lot of like scraps and failed prints scattered around here that have been getting cleaned up. But yeah, and also like I mentioned, I had redone all the lighting, so it's funny. I meant for this weekend, if I was gonna do anything in here, to be the weekend where I made my desk all better, And I'm pretty sure it is at the moment technically worse off than it was on Friday afternoon. but it's in a much better place to fix it up. It's in a much better place as far as fixing it up, right? Like, there's a difference between a mess that's completely packed into a closet and a mess that's, like, sorted and spread out on the floor, right? Like, it looks messier, but it's closer to being finished. Hey, what's going on, Michael? Welcome to the stream. GG finishing the Lego Ruth. Thank you, Z4. Thank you. There were some issues. There were some battles had. I had a massive layer shift because part of the first layers peeled up and caught the print head. That was a fun one to wake up after. It was supposed to be one of the prints where, like, I let it run overnight and I woke up, like, I let it run over Friday night, woke up Saturday morning, and it was just kind of supposed to be done or close to done. So I didn't even check it, and, like, you know, it was still running, so I came in here. At a quick glance, it looked alright, and then I realized, like, it was printing way off. And basically what had happened is, a lot of the prints, when I print them, have a raft under them, which 3D printing people will tell you, like, a raft is overkill, you don't need it. I need it on my current print bed. It's a little bit messy, and a little bit beat up. So, like, I have like a bump in the middle of my print bed that's like 5 layers thick, so the raft's a little bit necessary. I want to get a glass bed to fix that, but yeah, so the raft started peeling up, and it peeled up so far it caught the print head, and the print head, like, skipped on its belts and then just started printing off to the side. It did recover. At the end of the day, it did end up recovering and continued to print straight out from there, but, like, the part was ruined. Hey, what's going on, Colin? 2K tonight? I think we'll hit 2K. I think we should. But yeah, so the wreath is finished now, and it is proudly hanging up. Hopefully it lasts. Hopefully the command hook holding it to the door doesn't fail. Hopefully the ribbon that it's, like, tied to the hook with doesn't fail. We'll see. If I hear a loud clunk and go out there and it's just shattered into pieces on my front porch tomorrow, then, like, oh well, it happens. Having a 3DS is cool, but Nintendo doesn't make them anymore. Yeah. Yeah, so it's hard to find new ones. Like, I want to get another one just because they do eventually wear out. They do eventually die, and I want to make sure I have, like, spares in case, like, it dies in a way that's not fixable. But at the moment, it's kind of hard to find that. Tell us what you got from Mel. She might be watching despite working. Also, basically right now I have ideas for Mel. So Mel is the one weird shipping thing that's going to have to happen. So for anyone who is unaware, Mel, my girlfriend, she's the mod who shows up in chat occasionally. She is currently working in Japan and will be there through the holidays. So it's expensive to ship stuff overseas to Japan. So, the plan for now is basically going to be like, here's a gift with a little bit of thought and a little bit of, like, humor put into it. Hopefully, assuming I can find the thing I want to find, there's a gift I have in mind that meets what the, like, one thing she said she kind of wanted, while also trying to be a little bit funny, that I need to, like, order. And I'm hoping and I'm crossing my fingers that when I check tonight, because, like, I'm solidifying all my Christmas stuff, like, today. I've pretty much solidified all but one thing at this point, and Mel's is up in the air. Assuming I can do it, I want to do it. Basically, the plan is to just make an Amazon JP account, because anyone can do that, set her address as my shipping address, and then just directly ship her the gift from, like, internally in Japan, so it doesn't have to do, like, international travel and stuff. Because I'd be worried about it not getting over there in time. I would also be worried about customs. I'd be worried about just the general chaos of trying to ship to Japan, because their whole addressing system is different from the US, which is the only system I've had to deal with before. So that'd be an issue. Hope she lasts. I hope so too. I hope so. I'm always really bad at picking out gifts, I feel. Yeah, the KFC Christmas dinner, yeah. What she's actually ended up doing is she's been introducing a lot of her Japanese friends that she's made over there. She's been introducing a lot of them to American traditions. They had their own little Thanksgiving with, you know, like, a little tiny bit of turkey and, like, all, like, as much like American Thanksgiving-esque food she could find in Japan, because they don't have a lot of that. It's a lot of very, like, traditionally American food, and a lot of food that really is only a tradition for us because of Thanksgiving, so it's hard to find over there. So, like, she's done stuff like that, and that's the kind of, like, little fun things. You know, she did, like, she gave out some, like, candy on, like, Halloween and stuff, and just kind of, like, any kind of American traditions on holidays, she's kind of been, like, introducing to people over there. They've been really enjoying it. She's been having a good time. They're doing her family usually does cookie swaps, like, where, you know, everyone kind of, like, everyone brings, like, a tray of cookies, and you all, like, go around and pick out cookies and put them in your tray and stuff, and, like, you take home, like, a batch of all the cookies. She's been doing that. Sure, she's planning one of those over there, too, which is kind of fun. Is it a dog pooping calendar? You figured it out, Mitchie. You have a command hook holding up one of your maps fall recently? Oh, dang. No, I've had command strips in the past fail pretty regularly. But I also, a lot of that was in, if you go way back in the streams to like the 2018 streams would be the consistently there ones. The 2018 streams, the room I was in for that, those walls were painted in a way to make it so like any kind of college student damage was really unnoticeable. So it was stuff like it was like really textured, and it was really like greasy, oily paint. So it was like slick almost, and so command strips would like hold up for a while, but then they would end up falling after like an amount of time. The way I held most things to that wall was putty. There was this there's just like this like Loctite poster putty. I used that for a lot of stuff on those walls. But yeah, then I used command hooks for some things. Some of those lasted, some of those ended up falling in the middle of the night and terrifying me. I'm a mindless ambassador, basically. I've told her she has to tell all of her students about the streams. No.
I'm just wearing my pajamas, staying up too late, 'cause I'm watching Futurama, thinking where's my drama. My life's no mellow.
Yeah, so I have, so as far as Christmas gift goes, I have one that is, like, actually solidified, wrapped and underneath my Christmas tree. There's another part to that that's being sorted out now, because it's basically going to be, like, I give part of it, my sister gives the other part, and so it's, like, getting her part together, because it's still stuff I know about. So I'm basically getting that sorted as well. And then yeah, I gotta find some other gifts. The one that's up in the air is gonna be interesting, because I genuinely don't know. I've had many people ask me what to get this person, and I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm getting them. Like, if you actually give me a good idea, I'm gonna say no and then get it. Like, like that's the situation we're in now, right? Like, we've got like basically like before like festivities really start for us, we got like 10 days before like things really have to be like set in stone. And anything not set in stone, like even like within the next couple of days, is like finding it at a store, not like doing Amazon. Is she fluent in Japanese or learning along the way? She's very knowledgeable and very fluent in Japanese. She's been self-teaching herself for like 10 years now, basically. We actually met in Japanese class in college. I was in my third semester of it, so I'd been taking it for a year. At that point, was in like the second year, starting the second year. She then came in to university at that point and started taking Japanese like 1, because that's where you go. You start 1, and I think, as most people do when you're experienced in something but know you have a lot of room to go, is like you go into a class and you think like, oh man, I'm gonna be really behind these other people who probably have had some formal high school education. So like, because this is how I went into my sorry, I got a text. I'll explain the backstory behind the text I just got in a minute, because it's gonna go wow. But yeah, so when I went into college, I majored in computer science, and I went into the very first computer science class, and I was really nervous I was going to be behind, because the only experience I had coding was through extracurriculars in high school, like robotics and stuff. I was the lead programmer there, so I knew some Java, but not a whole lot. It was very sporadic what I knew. So I was really worried I was going to show up to this class as I assumed going to be full of kids who had taken like 2 or 3 years of CS in high school. It was 2015, so it was kind of like reasonable to almost start expecting that. It's like to be a class schools had. Like my high school added it the year after I graduated. Then like the first day they were like, this is how you unzip a file properly in Windows. This is what we're gonna be using Java. Here is an int. An int is a number. And I was like, okay. Like at that point I realized like I did know more than they expected at that point. So like I had that kind of experience with CS. She had that with Japanese, where she showed up for the first day of class. They started going over like the equivalent of the alphabet, going over hiragana, katakana. And like very basic, hello, how are you? My name is Ian. Kind of phrases, just rote memorization out of the textbook. So she went up to the professor and went, hey, I don't think I should be here. Because she had at this point been like, 6 years of self-study with pen pals in Japan, having like fluent conversations with them and stuff. So she went into that. So she did that. And then like had a conversation with the teacher, just like started like having a conversation with her in Japanese to try to be like, oh, you do need to be here. And then like, oh yeah, you don't need to be here. Like after the conversation went well. And so she got bumped up to my class on the second day. And that's when we met and realized that we lived next door to each other. So a lot of coincidences there. Shares with my Japanese skills. I've lost nearly all of mine. I can read usernames in chat. Like I can tell when Shy changes his name and what he changes it to. I can't really form my own sentences with it anymore, just because it's been so long. Language is such a use it or lose it thing, right? Like it's one of those things. I feel like Mel has even kind of run into the situation, funnily, or despite being a native English speaker, she uses Japanese in her day-to-day so much. Sometimes just you forget words, right? Like if you don't use the word for a while, you have to be like reminded of it. That's just what happens with language. And for me, I haven't touched Japanese since I stopped being a tutor in college. So it's been like 2.5, almost 3 years since I've used it. Having a 3DS is super cool, and you want one, but Nintendo doesn't make them anymore, and buying one on the internet is like $300 to $400. Yeah, Bear, it's kind of ridiculous. It stinks that they stopped making it. I understand why, because like the Switch is already like 4 years old now, so or like almost 4 years old. Right? No, it is 4 years old. The Switch is over 4 years old at this point. So like, why would you keep making the 3DS? They don't make new games for it. But yeah, it stinks because yeah, at this point you really can't find any in like in a store anymore. So you're gonna find it from someone who's selling it online, and they're in that state right now where they're like really, really expensive because people just want to get their hands on ones that they can. Gift for cat. I've been trying to think of a gift for cat. I have an idea, but I don't. The problem is, I've tried just giving my cat things because my cat doesn't understand holidays. Holidays are a societal construct, and my cat is an anarchist. So like, as all cats are. So she doesn't understand the concept of Christmas. So I could just give her something whenever, right? Like, I feel like for Christmas, the most she's probably gonna get is like a fancy cat treat, because I know she'll use that. But like, I've tried getting her like cat furniture and stuff before, and she'll like use it for like a day or two, and be like, I'm done. And then go and like just find like a jacket I didn't put away properly, and that's her bed for a month. It's like, okay, so like. I was like, okay, that's ridiculous, but that's the way it is. Living next door to each other, no way. Yeah, like, we ended up in the same apartment complex, on the same floor. Her apartment was the one, like, adjacent to mine, like, in, like, the walkway. Day 2, learning Inspect Element. We didn't do any web dev. I ended up learning Inspect Element on my own by the end of freshman year on my own from tinkering with stuff. Most schools around you didn't have Japanese in high school. Neither did mine, neither did hers. She did her learning until college was fully self-taught. Extracting zip files was an issue for some of your classmates until your senior year of GIS and undergrad. like, that's, like, the thing is, it makes sense why to explain it, for sure. I'm not saying that it's, like, a bad thing. I mean, I'm not saying, like, it's a bad thing at all to be like that. I'd like to go over that. It makes sense, because, yeah, if you get into a situation where, like, people are so used to Windows just kind of ghost extracting the folder in the background, and then you try to, like, use the contents from a folder in, like, an IDE, it's not going to work. But, like, at that moment, I realized, like, oh, okay, I'm not behind. I was just really worried that I was going into that class behind. I ended up finishing, so that class was a Monday, Wednesday class, with, like, the intent being you had a, like, 1 hour class on Fridays that was just another very, very entry-level intro to engineering class. And that's what I did. But so our class was Monday and Wednesday with labs on Monday and Wednesday to do, like, the lab assignments in. You had to finish the lab assignment by the end of class Wednesday, or the end of lab Wednesday. Class was in the morning at like 9 a.m. and lab was at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something. You didn't have to go to lab if you didn't have any work to do. So basically, on Monday you didn't have to be in lab at all, but like Wednesday you had to at least be in lab to take a quick little quiz and to show your, like, show the output of your code. And so Monday, I would show up to lecture, see what we were doing for the week. He would unlock the lab assignment for the week, and I would finish that before the end of lecture on Monday, not go to lab on Monday, sit through lecture on Wednesday, which was still going over more of the concepts for lab, and then turn in my lab first thing when I got to class or the lab on Wednesday. Like, that was my schedule with that. And, like, yeah, so it was just that thing where it's like, I thought I'd be behind, and I ended up being, like, one of the people helping, like, sitting down and helping people in lab while I was there before heading back to my dorm for the night. Catnip. Okay, so catnip is, like, the thing that's, like, oh, it makes your cat act all funny, right? Like, because the whole, like, science of it is, like, I guess it's a mosquito repellent, from what I've seen online, is, like, the chemical in catnip is a mosquito repellent, and so cats have evolved to enjoy rubbing their bodies with catnip to keep mosquitoes off of them. Makes sense, it's smart, but also they only, like, they build up a tolerance to it real fast, because you only need to rub yourself in so much catnip to have mosquito repellent, right? Like, so, like, the kind of thing is like, you're supposed to, if you do want your cat to, like, have a heavy reaction to catnip, the idea is, like, they only should, like, be exposed to those toys, like, every few weeks or something like that. Every toy at the pet stores when I go to the store, like, catnip infused, and it's like, just give me, like, a string, like, a ball on a stick, right? Like, give me a ball on a string on a stick, right? Like, no catnip infusing or anything, because my cat doesn't care. If my cat's still playing with it after a week of just, like, catnip toys being toys, they just want the toy. And, like, the catnip side of it, where they freak out extra, can be this whole extra thing, like, once a month or something, right? Like, that's supposed to be the idea of it, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, like, every single toy has catnip in it now, so it's like the if everyone's super no one is line, it's like, if every toy's a catnip toy, none of them are, because your cat's just gonna get too used to it. I think your dog knows Halloween's a doorbell day. Is it a holiday for your cat, or like a day of horror? Please educate us on new YouTube changes. I feel like they're always changing stuff. The biggest one at the moment is the dislike button. Like, the dislike count. The button's still there. I always make that clarification. The button's still there. You can still leave a dislike. It still does the things a dislike does. The behavior of it hasn't changed, aside from you not seeing it anymore. And today, I think they changed the API. So that extension out there that, like, put the dislike counter back, is now guessing. As of today, I believe is the last day that works, like, properly. Starting tomorrow, it's going to be estimating dislikes based off of users who have the extension disliking, because that's all it can do at that point. Catnip petition mindless first name on the list. It's like, but, like, why make them all that way? Like, obviously it's because catnip's, like, just a super cheap plant to, like, produce, and, like, super cheap to put in everything. But, like, it's ridiculous. Boo, YouTube. Yeah, it's a dumb change. We've talked about it. We talked about it tons on stream. I've made it pretty clear that I think it's like, it might sound weird, but I feel like it's a very toxic behavior of the big companies running a lot of the things on the internet to kind of scrub the negative feedback from platforms. It feels unhealthy to me, but here we are. They've done it. They say it's to protect small creators. I am a small creator. I can tell you my feelings are probably way less hurt from a video getting disliked, bombed than a big company that's also afraid of the word union. So I don't care about their feelings. You know, things like the Ubisoft NFT DLC, the NFT video game stuff or whatever that, like, Ubisoft was talking about that everyone clearly did not like, you know, like, stuff like that. It's like, I don't care if Ubisoft gets, like, bullied. Let them. They're a bully. They should be told their idea is stupid. They can't just plug their ears. Hey, what's going on, Spartan? Let's chant union. I don't know what that'll do. I don't want to see what that'll do. Hey, what's going on, Kajido? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? But, oh yeah, guys. Yeah, the other thing that happened this weekend. So this happened on Saturday, I think. Yeah, it was on Saturday because I heard all the details about it, and then, like, saw them in person on Sunday. So yeah. Yeah, on Saturday morning, my sister and her boyfriend were going back to their house. My sister was driving back home, and they got rear-ended really hard. Like, insanely hard. Like, I saw the video, and, like, the car behind him was speeding and did not slow down. Yeah, so sorry. I got a text about it earlier. I guess my sister went, like, just to the hospital and got checked out today because, you know, it had been the weekend and didn't want to go during that and wanted to make sure that she was better than just the, yeah, you're sore. Like, let all the soreness go away that results from being in a car collision on the day before or the day of. Yeah, so she went to the hospital to get checked out today. Because, you know, if she had gone, like, yesterday and was just generic soreness, they were just giving her painkillers and told her to go home. So she went today. Fortunately, it looks like neck is okay and everything, which is good. They also gave her a COVID test because she was there, and it is negative, which is good. But apparently she had ruptured her eardrums, is the news I just heard. I'm surprised. I don't know what that entails, like, side effect wise, because I was having, like, vocal conversations with her yesterday, and she heard me fine. So I don't know, probably just bad tonight or something. Yo, what's going on, Nova? Welcome to the stream. Instant sending to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, the algorithm's listening. It's always listening. Crazy driving and drivers. Yeah, I saw. So she had a dash cam. For one, fortunately, she's had a dash cam. She was in a little fender bender back when she had just turned 16. And like it was a weird one where it was like the road became like. It went from one lane in one direction to two lanes in one direction, and it did that by making the existing lane become the left lane, and there was like a parking lot that exited onto that one lane road, but right as it became two lanes, it was this it's hard to describe, but it was almost like the parking lot merged into a lane, but not really, and a person came out of that parking lot, tried to go into her lane, and just like smacked her. And of course, like, the insurance company started trying to be all annoying about that, but fortunately she's had a dash cam since she started driving. So that one, the insurance company immediately shut up and paid out to fix it, like, instantly, because they're like, oh, yep, 100%, you're not at fault. You maintained lane as you should and braked when you should and just got hit. You know, like, because basically it was a weird one where the guy pulled out, like, enough to sideswipe her, but also in front of her enough that you could argue she rear-ended him, but she did not. This one was very clear cut, not her. Anyways, because she got rear-ended and pushed hard enough to go into the car in front of her, and crack her radiator with how hard she got pushed into the car in front of her. But yeah, no, I got sent pictures and the car looked pretty beat up, and then I got the rear dash cam video, and that person just did not slow down, man. Possible loss of hearing. That lane sounds like a trap. It's really not. that person was just excessively stupid. I've driven on that road plenty of times. It's not really a problem. The person exiting onto the road does not have enough room to go straight into that lane, and it is very obvious they don't. Then it is very obvious it should be treated like just like it is a one lane thing, and then it becomes 2 lanes after. Yeah, but that person was just dumb in that situation. But yeah, in this one, I saw the rear dash cam video, and I thought the video was gonna end like 15 seconds earlier than it did. Given it's very clear the person behind her was on their phone and just very distracted and not paying attention in general. Because about 15 seconds before she got hit, she had stopped at a stop sign, and the car that ended up eventually hitting her came up behind her and had to slam on his brakes and kind of swerve to get a little bit more room to slow down. And it's very clear that they had a chance in that moment to learn, gee, I should be paying attention to the road and not my phone. Unfortunately, what followed after that is my sister made a right turn. The car behind her made a right turn. My sister slowed down and stopped, either because the car in front of her was turning or she was about to turn into her neighborhood or something. I'm not sure. I never saw the front dash cam video. And then all you see is the car behind her not even attempt to slow down. And then the camera goes spinning. And that's the end of the video. But that's insane. It's like, how do you end up in a situation like that? Where it's like, one, I just can never fathom the idea of texting and driving. I've never understood the need to do that. It's like, you're driving, focus on that. My phone, just goes away immediately. If I ever end up, the most of the situation I've ended up in is usually been like, ugh, my music hasn't started playing because of some weird Bluetooth glitch or something. So I stop in a parking lot and fix it, and then get back on the road, or I haven't fully left my driveway or my parking deck or whatever the situation is, and I just park again and fix it. I've never understood the need to continuously check stuff on the road. So, and that's been both in a car that has an Android Auto display and a car that has horrible Bluetooth, and that is it. With no visual output. It's never crossed my mind to just pull the phone out and check it. So, I don't know. But ignoring that, assuming you somehow get into the mindset of that's okay, you would think there'd be a moment of, I should think about this. I just narrowly avoided rear-ending this car. Maybe I should not look at the phone immediately following that, because it just immediately followed it. Mindless is a careful driver. I don't know. I think this has been something Mel and I have discussed, where I very much trust the authority of rules over the authority of people. If a rule is a rule, I follow it, and I follow it no matter what. To me, I don't know. It's just I always feel weird. If a rule is posted somewhere, or it's just a standard rule, it's I feel weird breaking it, right? It's why break it? It's the rule. Oh, hey, happy your sister's okay. Yeah, I'm happy she's doing all right too. I heard initially from my mom. My mom texted me about it, so I texted my sister I heard you were in Iraq, and she's yeah, sent me pictures and stuff. And it's she's definitely more upset about the damage that's happened to the car than anything else. And obviously the initial shock of being in a wreck that was bad enough to be sore days and days later, full body sore the next day and stuff, and all that, I get, obviously, that's a bit of something, but I think, at the end of the day, I think she's more upset and more concerned that the car is going to be totaled out. She's kind of really hoping it's not, but at the same time, has, I think, kind of come around to the fact that there's a lot of damage to that car. Just from the pictures I saw, I could tell there's a lot more damage than what she was talking about in her initial itemization of stuff. Hey, what's going on, Mayu? Welcome to the stream. Side effects are sporadic, never know when it kicks in. Got you. Yeah, so I guess that's my thing with a bursted eardrum is the possible loss of hearing. I almost always thought it would be definite, right? That was my understanding, but I guess the eardrum isn't necessarily directly doing that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm glad that she's doing all right. I think I think she was taking it to a shop today to have them look at it. She got a rental car so she can still get places, because even though she has like another car, she has a kind of a project car. It's a project car, and it's a manual transmission that it has first, second, fourth, and fifth gear, right? Like it's missing third. And she also is still like learning manual, so it's kind of one of those things. She just didn't want to deal with that daily when she had to drive to work and drive to school for stuff. So fortunately, she got a rental car. Obviously, that other person's insurance is going to pay for it and stuff, but she's got to get that sorted out and figured out. Hopefully, insurance can cover a new car. I really hope it does, and I hope it doesn't like try to screw her. Obviously, it probably will try to. Hopefully, it's not able to. Fortunately for her, assuming, I guess we haven't seen the police report yet because it happened on a weekend, so it can take a couple days for that to be in their system to look at. Hopefully, it doesn't come back as like uninsured or something, right? Because that would suck. Because then they have to go just through the coverage of the car, which doesn't cover everything. So, like, one of the benefits of being in a wreck that someone else causes to you is over like a wreck where you cause it and your insurance covers your car too. Like I have full coverage on my car. So even if I was the dumb one and hit someone, or I just like hit a pole or something, right? Like I have to cover the insurance covers the damages to other stuff as well as my car. But then it jacks my insurance up because, hey, you've caused a wreck, right? So, in that situation, right, like they cover my car. They will cover the cost of like repairing or replacing a 2020 Corolla hatchback. Like, within like the trim level and with like the options I have from the dealership. From there, I installed like an official OEM Toyota rear spoiler, but that wasn't on the car when I got insurance for it. So like that's not covered. But if someone else hits me and damages that spoiler, they damage my property, regardless if I had it listed on my insurance or not. I can have a bag of chips in the back and they crunch the bag of chips up. They got to give me a new bag of chips. So fortunately for her, she was hit and it's their insurance covering it, assuming they have the insurance. Because she's done several things to the car. She's lowered it. She put new wheels on it. She had a rear diffuser. She had new exhaust. She had like several $1,000s worth of wrap on the car that she had put on it. Like she got that stuff pretty. She got it for way cheaper because of some class she took, but they got to replace it. So fortunately for her, someone else's insurance is covering it. She's just got to figure out. She's just hopefully able to get that amount of that kind of stuff back, like the cost of that kind of stuff back, and hopefully, yeah, they can cover her getting either that same kind of car again, or if she takes that money and goes and does something with a different car of the same value, yeah. But yeah, hopefully they're able to do her right with that. Boyfriend had his eardrum blow and it miraculously healed. Hey, yeah, like they healed. I just wasn't sure if like you were deaf while that was happening. Hey, what's going on, Art? Welcome to the stream. Whose car got wrecked? My sister got rear-ended on Saturday. And fortunately, she's doing all right. It sounds like, from what I've heard, eardrums are ruptured and she's sore. Aside from that, I think it said, yeah, eardrums and a cold that's not COVID. So I imagine I could honestly see like a head cold coming from just the soreness of that, right? Like I've talked about the number of times my body's reacted like I've had like a head cold and it's just been allergies. Like allergies getting so bad that your body thinks it's a cold kind of thing. I imagine getting in a car wreck is a similar thing. So yeah, I'm happy that she's like doing all right as far as that goes. Like she's not in severe pain or anything like that. I mean, she is sore, but it's not like, you know, actual like serious injuries. Hey, Colin just got a shiny ponyta. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. Congrats, man. Man, I need to... It's just a thought, like I was thinking through like all of my shiny hunting stuff. One of the things I need to do is get shiny charm, and for that, man, I need to play through more of Pearl. I really have been slacking on my progress when playing through Pearl. Because I've been like, oh, I can work on my national decks. I'm so much to the point where my national decks would be more benefited by me just playing the dang game and getting the version exclusives. But I've just been lazy. I've been lazy about that because it's like, oh, I can just like, it's like I can get like Vulpix, or I can just keep marching forward and continue getting all these Pokemon that are like later on. But I really just need to go through and complete Pearl so I can have 2 things that are checking Swarms, and I can have 2 things that are checking Trophy Garden, and 2 things that are checking Great Marsh, and get all the Shining Pearl exclusives, because I feel like I'm coming across those. I feel like I'm coming across more of those than I'm coming across Brilliant Diamond exclusives. Being rear-ended isn't fun. I remember when you were little, you were in the back of your great grandma. Or your grandparents' Cadillac in your car seat and you're rear-ended by a semi-truck. Whew! Yeah. Anything with a semi-truck is scary. Those things just... They're big and, like... don't... Like, physics doesn't tell them they have to stop. Right? Like, they're just big and they can do so much damage. That's scary. I'm glad, like, you've ended up being alright since then. But yeah, that's... I've only been in one minor little collision in my time being in vehicles. Very fortunately, knock on wood, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen. And hopefully I don't say this and then get in something tomorrow. Another car wreck would be way too much for us to deal with right now. At least get through the holidays and let my sisters be fixed. Really, I hope it doesn't happen at all. I'd like no damage to happen to my car. But yeah, like even that, like basically I was in a small little wreck where like some like elderly couple was leaving the local IHOP and they pulled across 4 other lanes of traffic to hit me in the 5th lane. They were basically making a left out of this IHOP across, like it was like 2 lanes, a middle turn lane, and 2 lanes, you know. I was in the far right lane, so the farthest lane away from them. There were 4 empty lanes between me and them. And despite all of that, they made a left all the way across. You're supposed to go into the leftmost lane going in your direction, so they should have come out next to me. I could tell before they even got to that middle turning lane, they weren't really turning enough to do that. And sure enough, I went over as much as I could in the lane. You know, I was in the gutter, you know, like going over in the gutter, about to start scrubbing my wheels against like the storm drain. And they still just went thunk. And that was the loudest thing I'd ever heard in a car. It was crazy. And like, it was like, I was going maybe 20. Maybe. Because like, I just left a red light. I had literally driven like 100 feet from the red light. So I really wasn't going that fast. It's not like my car could go that fast, right? Like, it was an old Crown Vic. It couldn't do anything. And so like, despite that, you know, yeah, they just came across and, like, they weren't going that fast either. It was an old couple leaving IHOP making a turn across a giant road. They don't know what they're doing. And just, the loudest noise. Hey, gamers, how's it going? Been a while, legit 2.5 time odds in Eterna. Dude, that's crazy, man. I hope you're able to find a shiny soon, dude. Time to prep for a Spiritomb Softfreeze hunt. Dang. Remember it vividly. You're okay physically, mentally, no. Yeah, that kind of thing, I guess, stays with you for sure. Or it says time for a smiting. And finally got into silver. Congrats, dude. You need to find your 32 NPCs for your Spiritomb, but you've just been doing excessive research for NPC spawns for future hunts or such. But no actual, like, finding them. Vehicles are dangerous, yes. Don't people watch where they're going? Sadly, not much. Hey, welcome back, MT. Want to get your teeny itty bitty planty boy so you can move on and unlock radar? Yeah, dude. I want you to find it too. You're finding them, you're just seeing which NPCs spawn in what areas so you know exactly where to go. Got you, got you. I need to actually go check Spiritomb and see if I've actually like found 32 at this point. Because I've just kind of talked to him casually as I've gone through the underground, but I've really only gone to a few spots in the underground. And I had this keyboard sitting on my desk, and I really wish I could use this keyboard like as my main keyboard because it's really nice. I love tinier keyboards like this, compact keyboards, and like ASMR sounds now. But just I like the feel of this keyboard. It's got like the bumpy tactile switches. Like I love this. This thing feels so good. It's got Panda switches on it, which like I installed on my own because this keyboard's really nice. Because like obviously like any keyboard you're able to pull off. You're able to pull off the caps on, but this one lets you go a little bit further. It's not included in this. It's in the box. It's not in the frame. But you can pull the switches out. So I replaced the switches when I got it, and it's so nice. I love it. But it doesn't have. But in order to use arrow keys, you have to use the function key, and like, I can't do that. Like, daily driving a keyboard. So this is my LAN party keyboard if the pandemic ever actually like ends and LAN parties happen again. Because I can just take that one with me wherever. But it's just sitting on my desk now. So I have to mess with it and like. My keyboard is the Ornata V2. You like it a lot. Yeah, this is a GMMK. The glorious module mechanical keyboard, the compact frame with their glorious Panda switches and the stock keys. I really want to build like a ridiculously out there keyboard that like only I can use because it's so strange. But at the same time, I can't get used to one that uses function arrow. So how am I gonna get used to like a plank keyboard, like an ortholinear keyboard with like multiple layers on the keys? You know, like you can hit like layer up and layer down to go to different key layers and stuff, and like getting used to that would be too much of a pain. I probably just need like a 10 keyless, like the GMMK 10 keyless or whatever they call it, and like just rock that as like my main keyboard with the same Panda switches. Found there's 4 spawn points for each area with 7 different NPCs spawning in them. Not sure if there can be more spawns if you haven't found any more. I don't know. Doesn't that company have a really good mouse? Depending on what you like in a mouse. Cause yeah, they make one of the mice that's like super duper lightweight. You know, like it's to the point where the cable almost weighs more than the mouse. Glorious gaming race or whatever their branding actually is for other stuff. But yeah, the Glorious brands. Glorious PC Gaming Race, because they definitely didn't want to like mimic PCMR in their names. They definitely didn't want to go into a store with PCMR written out. For people who don't get the meme, that would seem very racist. And it's like, yeah, let's not do that. So they didn't. They went with Gaming Race, and it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, they have their mice. I'm not a fan. I have always been the person. Or unfortunately, this mouse isn't working right now. This is a wireless mouse, so it's got a battery in it, which makes it heavy. And then on top of that, I add both the weights. You know, like I put both of the weights in the mouse to make it as heavy as possible. Same deal with this mouse. The one that I'm currently using is actually heavier than the other one right now because I can put more in it. Like this is like my original G502. I have 3 weights in it. Like I've made this mouse. Each of these weights is what? 36 grams. Yeah, like those 3 weight, I've added an entirety of that super lightweight mouse. I've added an entire extra one of those in weight to this mouse. Because I like heavier mice. Seeing one with a fan in it? Are they the ones who put the fan in it? I don't remember if they put the fan in it or not, but yeah, someone did. They took advantage of the fact that like the mouse was a hollow lattice, and yeah, they put the fan that like blew on your palm. Shiny Hunting Krogunk, so you check the NPC spawn, go into the wild den, and check out the Krogunk, and then go back out and check the NPC spawn and repeat. Multitasking, man. Gotta run. Alright, see you later, Kajijo. Best of luck with your Spiritomb, and best of luck with your Krogunk as well, man. Recommendation for LED mouse? I don't know. I don't know if I have any solid mice recommendation right now, because I love the shape and the feel of like the G502 series, like this very classic Logitech looking mouse, right? Like they've been using this design for the better part of this decade. You know, like literally it is the same like molding. I literally just got the wireless version of the same mouse when I needed a new mouse. It's identical. It's identical in ergonomics. I love the feel of it. There's a reason I'm not using this one. Both of the switches in it, both of the like mouse switches have died. And Logitech support is really crummy about that and literally have you use like some like open source third-party site to confirm the double clicking problem. It's a pain in the butt. So I don't know if I'm going to get a Logitech mouse again after that, just because this one has been a problem and this was a very expensive mouse to be broken. But the G is RGB, like, so you can set that to any random color. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a solid recommendation right now because I don't really have a good one with mine. Hey, what's going on, Twist and B Mercer? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, super lightweight and your hands are either super cold or super warm. Wireless mouse or wired? I like the look of a wireless mouse, and if you get something like a Logitech Lightspeed mouse, or a couple other brands have come out with their own super high frequency wireless mice, they're good. Like I don't notice a difference between my wired and wireless mouse. The biggest advantages with a wired mouse are wired mice in general have lower latency, but in the past like 3 or 4 years, that's kind of gone out the window. That's not really the thing anymore. You can get equally fast or equally responsive wired and wireless mice. So the biggest thing with a wired mouse is you don't have the weight of a battery and you don't have to recharge it. But again, that comes down to the weight might not even be a plus for you, because if you're like me, you're going to put as much weight in the mouse as you can. I like a heavy mouse. I like it having momentum. I don't play Twitch shooter games enough to really need that like low inertia mouse. Should we go into the burger thing on Sunday? Also plans to watch Spider-Man Far From Home. Nice. I'm guessing the burger thing was good. I was doing some stuff on Sunday, Twist. If that had happened, I was doing stuff this past Sunday. Or was it last Sunday or was it 2 Sundays ago? Because if it was 2 Sundays ago, I definitely couldn't have done it. I don't know when it was, but if it was yesterday, I couldn't do it. Zephyr's the ones with a fan in it. Oh, okay, yeah. Zephyr gaming mouse that has palm cooling and weighs only 68 grams. Bruh, each of the weights in the mouse I use now, and I have 3 weights. Each of the weights is over half the weight of the mouse. I have 1.5 of that mice in my mouse. Yes, yeah. I was helping my dad with stuff at his new house. Do I have plans to watch Far From Home? I don't at the moment. I don't go and see a lot of movies in theaters. I've become accustomed to waiting for them to show up online, like through streaming services. Hey, Angela! It's one of these. F1 this weekend, though? That was so hype. It was. I feel bad for Max. I feel bad for Max in this situation. I feel bad for Lewis, too. I feel bad for Lewis. I feel bad for Max. I feel bad for Red Bull. I kind of don't feel bad for Mercedes. They still won constructors. I think the biggest thing for them is the fact that they didn't blow out this entire set of technical regulations with world driver champions as well as world constructors. Yeah. It was a very exciting race because of some stuff that I would say is kind of bad to have happened. Max I'm more biased towards Max here. Max absolutely deserves the win. He won with the circumstances that were handed to him, right? Like, he won with the circumstances presented. Red Bull's strategy played out in the circumstances presented. I understand why Lewis and Mercedes feel like they had the rug pulled out under them in those last 2 laps, man. Feel bad for Max. I feel bad for Max because there are going to be so many people that want to put an asterisk on his world championship win. Like, it's going to be Max Verstappen won the 2021 World Driver Championship, and there's going to be a whole group of people that go, yeah, but he wouldn't have won it if this hadn't happened. Granted, that's a crappy argument. He won it, he won it, straight out. You know, he won it. With the way the race played out, he won. With the way that the race directors and the stewards handled the race, he won. And it means the official ruling is that he won. But I think there's definitely a lot of people who are going to be like, why did they do it this way? You know, Max did not deserve to win. You're so glad he did. He deserved it. He absolutely deserved it. He deserved it. It's a terrible set of circumstances to make it where it's like, you know, they're neck and neck. They went into that. If either one of them won, they deserved it, right? Like, the only way that it wouldn't have really been deserved is if, like, they told another one to stop the car because he needs to win, right? Like, they both, like, that last lap was still a battle. He still had to fight and overtake Lewis. Their strategy worked to their advantage that he had 1 lap old tires, 1 safety car lap old tires versus Lewis's like 30-something lap old hards. So for me, it's like, I feel bad that there are going to be people who say he didn't deserve it. He absolutely did deserve it, right? Like, Max did not deserve to win, but you're so glad he did. Like, exactly that. I mean, more that Lewis should have won. Lewis should have pitted then, right? Like, that's kind of the thing, is like, it plays out in a way where it's like, there's so much crazy stuff like that happens that should be accounted for. And honestly, any weekend aside from this past weekend, if they did that, like, it would have been an oh well. You know, they ruled that way. It's dumb, and they would have gone on about it. Even if, like, even if it ended up in a situation where it made the points come out the same after Abu Dhabi, right? Like, if you flipped, I'm not going to say Jeddah because Jeddah was also kind of weird. If you were to flip, like, what's like a non-controversial race? Because I can't even say Brazil. If you were to just flip Bahrain and Abu Dhabi and put like the same stuff from Abu Dhabi happening this weekend in the first race of the season and then have a race play out fairly standard like I believe Bahrain did, or not Bahrain, but no, yeah, Bahrain. Like, then it happens that way. And I don't think anyone would be saying that it was the comical set of errors at the start of the season that led to Max winning. It's just because it happened on the final lap of the season and the race was tied going in. I think that's the only reason it comes up that way. But, man, bruh, what is this? The bots are learning, guys. They're realizing that their comments get deleted immediately outside of live streams. What is going on? Upset that Perez got out? They pulled Perez out because apparently his engine was dying and they didn't want him. They pulled him out so quickly there because his engine was dying and there was a chance it was going to die in the last lap before Max got the overtake. They had to, because if Perez died on the track and they put it all under virtual safety car before Max made the pass, that was it. So that's why they pulled Perez. It sucks he didn't get across the line. Perez is the MVP of that race. He should have gotten driver of the day if it wasn't for the just concerted effort of the community, including me, just to vote Kimi as it before Kimi finished his historical career in F1. Checo drove like a madman and absolutely set up Red Bull's strategy to win. Checo, MVP there. If it wasn't for Checo doing what he did, there is no way Max would have won yesterday. So yeah, Checo, absolutely great. Snowy Zora, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Lewis should have won. I think either of them winning, they deserved it. But yeah, I do see why it's like it's a very like farcical set of events, right? That kind of led to that. I think it was just the epitome of the inconsistent decisions by like the race directors, like by like race control, right? You know, like I think people have been kind of clowning on Massey all season, and to a point that's very fair. Everything publicly that's come out from his decisions has not been great. Going all the way back to Bahrain and the original track limit issues. I can't even say Bahrain because they did stupid stuff that was like inconsistent calling. I can't name a race that didn't have weird calling this year, from track limits or from weird like situations. Like the first and last lap of yesterday's race were both incredibly weird calls, and yeah, I don't really agree with either call necessarily. Good trying to hit 900. You're 4 subs away. Yo, you're so close. Best of luck. Hope you get that soon. Congrats on all the subs so far. Can't really say any of the races weren't controversial. The problem is we've forgotten any of the ones that weren't. And I'm looking at this purely from the perspective of not controversial for Max and Lewis. Honestly, Monaco might be one of the least controversial, but Monaco's always controversial just because of the nature of the track, and it being like people always just call it one of the parade races where it's like you really can't do any passing that's not in the pit lane. So from that perspective, also that one. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are races that you could point at that if they were the championship deciding race wouldn't have been as big of a deal. Red Bull played so smart in the last few races. Oh, absolutely. Mercedes did too. I mean, they both tried as hard as they could. Lewis took a new engine in Brazil and went on a domination streak with that new engine that he could just like push and push and push. And he absolutely gained the pace. He absolutely gained more pace back from that engine than he took from like falling to the back of the grid in Brazil. Robots are learning they're superior. It's only been like the past 2 or 3 days I feel like that I've been streaming that like we've gotten those really random, and like I don't get what the point is. Obviously I do not say go click these links or figure out like make the links clickable, right? Like because they're doing everything they can, you can tell, to keep it from showing up as a link and from getting flagged by anything, right? I already have the issue with like stream VODs and like videos I post. I get like notifications for these like comments showing up, and usually they show up and they disappear like almost immediately. Now they used to not. It used to be something I had to report like 4 or 5 times before YouTube went, oh yeah, that is a bad comment. But they've been getting better about that. But I still get the notifications. So they're still trying, and they just come and do it in a live stream too, which is weird. Honestly, I would say as far as a race that was not controversial in terms of calls made for or against Lewis and Max, where Lewis and Max also didn't cause issues. Obviously, Silverstone's controversial. Obviously, Monza's controversial. Hungary's controversial from Bottas messing up. I would say like Baku. Azerbaijan would have been a very interesting final race if it played out the way it did, with the tire issues, and then with the tire issues and then the magic mode issue that Lewis had. Like if those hadn't happened, or if those had happened, that'd have been crazy. Don't understand what's being said, so you're just nodding your head. Oh, with F1 racing, it's been interesting this year. It's the first time we've had a champion. It's the first like new champion since 2016. The same guy has won like 7 times now. 2016 straight through 2020, with a couple times having won before that. So I think it was exciting and interesting to see someone battle it out. The last race was yesterday, and they were tied in points going into the final race. Seen an increase in bots and chats, just remembering what happened with the sausage curbs. That one was scary though. Like that like, again, I'm saying this from the perspective of also saying there is no more convincing. It was immediately confirmed good when Leclerc was saved in 2018. But if anyone needed more proof that the Halos were a good thing, Monza. I don't get why sausage curbs are still on the tracks. Those should have been gone several years ago. As soon as they were installed, people went, those are dangerous. And sure enough, we had multiple cars fly up. We had Peroni and F3 go over a barrier and almost like kill a Marshal because it just landed in the Marshal Tower. Like, we shouldn't be having that. Oh, Eddie Eru, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Someone might be able to help you with that. 100% was scary. Yeah. Hey, Z4 can help. Nice. Yeah, that was a crazy one. Removing one at a time. Yeah, just take them all out. Like, they're there to prevent like people from cutting track limits and stuff. It's like I hate the fact that like a lot of that stuff's put in place to be like, oh, it's to prevent people from running outside of track limits and stuff. It's like you could have like perfect track material for a mile outside of the track limits. You know how you keep people from doing that? You don't be like wimpy about what track limits are and aren't. You know, like this whole past year, we've constantly had things like, so this weekend on these turns, the white line's track limit. On this weekend, these other turns, like the same weekend, same track, these other turns though, you can use the whole curb. The whole red-white curb is the track. And stuff like that. Or like, we'll let you go all the way out to like this mark on like, don't do that. The white line is the track limit when they designed the track. Those F1 drivers are racers. Their job, which they get paid millions of dollars to do every year, is to drive the car fast within the white lines. You don't need to give them more leeway. The leeway you give them is if they're racing in the race day and they both end up kind of like side by side and like end up bumping in and out. That's a different story. That's still a different story today, right? Like track limits were inconsistent. You can't even do like the most like straightforward thing. I'm not shocked to see some of these rulings be the weird ones they are. The particular curb was the issue, not like they're a flaw in the design. Only that one. Yeah. Penalties enough of a deterrent. Like the two deterrents you need one during qualifying, technically during practice too, but like practice is practice. There's no results. There's nothing to gain from running outside the track because it's just bad data. Assuming that like on race day and on qualifying, that's not allowed. Yeah, you delete the track time. You delete the lap time. And if it happens during a race and you pass outside of the track, you give the position back. That's it. The rules are there. They already happened. Just enforce them consistently. But that also goes back to yesterday as well. Like, go back to yesterday. Watch the race. Watch lap 1. Lewis accelerated outside of track limits and gained a massive gap on Max. Max dive bombed. I get why he didn't have to give that whole position back. He should have had to more clearly fall back at the very least. If not give the position back. He left the door open. He knew Max would take the shot. He baited Max. Either he baited Max or he somehow didn't understand how Max was going to run that track. And in that case, he didn't know his opponent. And he lost the position. He could have slowed down more and stayed on track. Would it have been dangerous on the first lap? Possibly. That's why you take the runoff and you give the place back. Like, there's reasons for that. Bruh. How are we getting more? I've noticed they're all very slightly different in how they use their final like URL tag. Also qualifyings where Max tried to get the spot back. Was that last week? That wasn't qualifying. That was the race, and he tried to do it in a really cheeky way that there needs to be a rule to prevent, because it's smart for him to try to do it the way he did, but like Lewis wasn't going to take that. Yeah, Jeddah was a mess. Jeddah was an absolute mess. Because basically what happened at Jeddah when Max gave the position back, or tried to give the position back, was Max slowed down very quickly on the racing line. Yeah, do that strategically, Max. Oh, brake check him. He didn't brake check. He just didn't pull over to the side enough when he slowed down, and he slowed down in a spot that Lewis did not want to pass him. I don't know if you caught it, gamers, but when he did slow down there, what he was doing was he was trying to get Lewis to pass him before the DRS detection line. So he would give the place back to Lewis, but then immediately get DRS to get back past Lewis. So Max slowed down. Lewis knew the line was there, was DRS. Also slowed down. Max slowed down even more, and that's kind of where, yeah, the brake checking thing comes in, but I don't know if I would call it brake checking. Max was just not in the right spot to let Lewis pass. He didn't move over enough. He very clearly was trying to do it strategically in that spot, and Lewis didn't want to play that game. Kind of a brake check. Know what the intent was. Yeah, he slowed down a lot right on that line, but yeah, I mean, again, it was a mess. And then, like, Max, gave him the position back for, like, half a second and then immediately passed him into the corner. And then, like, that doesn't count. And it's like, that's fair that doesn't count. Yeah, like, you should be, like, required. I think the suggestion I saw was, like, you should be required to give the place back and not pass him again for 2 turns. It's fairly unreasonable that a legitimate, like, giving of position is immediately, like, recoverable in 2 turns. Obviously that means they're going to try to do it like in a chicane or something where you get a 1-2 turn real quick, but so what? That's not going to mean anything. Yeah, I know it was supposed to happen, but Lewis is too big brain or too little brain. I don't know. Lewis was smart. Lewis didn't let it happen. Lewis ended up coming out the, like, victim in that, and ended up coming out the winner because he was the victim and was, like, rewarded as the victim. Like, Max took a 10-second penalty. Granted, they didn't give Max a 10-second penalty until they knew it wouldn't cut into the fanfare of a tied, world championship battle. There was a lot of frustration and a lot of stuff that happened in those last few races that was annoying and inconsistent and seemingly inconsistent for the sake of making a more exciting race yesterday. Should we give back with a set distance or something? I mean, even just giving back and you have to be, like, fully behind their car is usually enough. But the one thing there is, you can't, like, give the position back and then immediately late brake, right? Like, you can't give the position back in a straight and then late brake and dive bomb the turn again and take them, right? Like, you can't do that. Like, that doesn't match. So it's like, if you let, like, a turn happen, isn't it theoretically possible to tie for champion? Yes, if you tie for champion, I believe it goes to I think it goes to the number of races won, who won the most races, and then from there I think it's like whoever was first most recently. So it's possible to tie points-wise, but they will determine the winner. There's not, like, a dual champion or something. There are rules in place to fall back on and break ties. Yeah. I will make the argument, though, in favor of Max into the turn 1 situation yesterday, or lap 1 situation yesterday. He's racing for the championship title. He's going to take that. He's going to take that door. That door was open. It might have been closing, but he got into it before it closed. So I would argue that Max wasn't really in the wrong there. Coming from a position of someone who has raced in very aggressive racing series. A very aggressive racing series, because there's no rules against contact. It's dumb, but I have a trophy from it, so I'm happy. Yeah, since the carts I run races in have bumpers and are rental carts, and no one has to the only people who have to deal with the damage are the employees, things get bumpy, and it's annoying. Gonna play some Valorant or Minecraft, don't know which, but we can head out. Alright, see you later, gamers. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate having you here and talking. It's fun to talk about F1 stuff. I guess we gotta wait a few months now before we can really talk about it again. But we get new cars! There'll be fully new cars next year. Be interesting. Maybe the Mercedes dominance will go away, but probably not. Haas dominance all the way through. They've had like 3 years to work on that car because they gave up on working on theirs long ago. Yo, guys, thank you for the likes on the stream. We're up to 15 likes, which is awesome. We've hit our like goal for the day, so I really appreciate that, guys. It means a lot. Let me go ahead and change this playlist over.
We could play blank blank 182, lay around the house and daydream till the afternoon, thinking about the times that we had when this was all that we knew, when this song was still new, when this all was still new. We could play blank blank 182, summertime nights that we had, staring at the moon, laughing at our own jokes, acting like they were new. We'd only watch cartoons, but loving life is our tune. Oh oh, that we can never go back to this. And as we grow, we'll look back and miss all it.
I'm glad chat was able to help with some trade stuff. I'm getting to the point where I've got to do a ton of trade evolutions too. I think once I get Pearl to a point where I have a like solid chunk of version exclusives to trade over, that's probably when I'm gonna end up doing most of my evolutions. I just have like a good solid trade session with myself. Pull one switch up on the computer. Or just pull up this layout, right? Play the games this way. But I'd probably pull up one stream on this computer and then one on the TV and do those trades. Because yeah, those trade evolutions can be a little bit annoying.
We could play blink, blink, 182. Drive around our cars and pretend that we never grew. Sneak out of the house every night. We were young and confused. We never made curfew. There was too much to do.
You can trade eggs? You should be able to, yeah. Yeah, they count as a Pokemon for that. They work a little bit differently now. They don't change the properties when you trade them anymore, but they But yeah, you can trade eggs. You can.
And as we grow, we'll look back and miss all it.
I think it's so that like you can get the OC on what hatches.
Leave this home and find our love our very own. But we can play blank 182. But we can play blank 182. We could play blank 182. Summertime nights that we had, staring at the moon, laughing at our own jokes, acting like they were new. We'd only watch cartoons, but love and life was our tune. Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Not that you're gone. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Laying on my floor, thinking about all the things that we've been through. From 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, 'cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind.
Forgot how long these encounters took. I was like, oh, we're for sure gonna hit 2,000. Thinking like we'll hit 2,000 within like an hour, and we're 2 hours in, and we're only now approaching that. Gosh. But we are 10 encounters away from 2,000. Kind of crazy. Crazy how far this hunt's come, given that it's taking so long. Don't know if you can trade eggs. You should be able to. I feel like every previous Pokemon game's let me trade eggs. Anyone that I've tried to trade eggs in, that is. I need to work on setting the white balance on my camera like permanently to a certain color. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the white balance is just constantly kind of floated around on stream. I don't know what's causing it. It honestly might be the fact that I have that little tiny bit of like pink lighting coming through back there, and it's like, hold on, this part of the wall's not right.
Nothing's gonna stop me. Hey, yeah. Nothing's gonna stop me. Feeling so right. Nothing's gonna stop me. Hey, yeah.
I almost did the thing I did on Friday, or not Fridays, on Thursday, where I like reset once I saw the Starlies and not when I saw the PIPLUP. Excuse me. I tried to cover the yawn and then like took my hand out of the way way too quickly. Apologies for the sight you had to witness there. Just gonna shiny Kecleon at a chain of 17. Nice, Silver. Nice. Get some good luck with the chains there, man. Congrats. My cat just woke up from a nap. Yep, here she is. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's up? Want to say hi to everyone? Come on. Hey. The cat has arrived. Hi. Yeah, I know. Hello. Howdy, cat. They're saying hi to you. Do you want to say hi back? Or are you just going to keep rubbing your face into my armpit? Hey. Yes. She's just chilling. All right. Let's see if we can get this this PIPLUP at Encounter 2000. So this is what I have to deal with all day long. It's just her sitting in my lap, aggressively rubbing her face all over me. Alright guys, I think this will probably be our last encounter for the night as well. I think 2000 will be a really... The Chaos Cat, exactly, Z4, exactly. I think this will probably be the last encounter for the night. We'll wrap up here. A nice, clean 100 encounters for the night. Nice, clean 100 encounters at 2 hours for a stream length. Gonna use the rest of the night probably to work more on my decks, work on my desk a little bit, and rearrange those letters some. Ow. But yeah, I think it's been a good stream tonight. A little bit more on the chill side as far as the BDSP streams have gone, which is all good. I'm thinking this week we'll do some more poker radar stuff. I wanna do some more poker radar hunting. The PIPLUP just as a long hunt night. Yeah, night Z4. Yeah, we're gonna see if we get this PIPLUP here. And then indeed that'll be it for the night. I'll figure out a good like vacation stream schedule once I'm on break from work. Ow, cat, stop! Stop! That cable is no, cat, ow, ow. This is what I really have to deal with. All right, guys, thank you all for tuning in. The cat is causing more chaos, but thank you guys for watching the stream. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be doing PIPLUP or if I'll be doing some poker radar. We'll see. Probably be PIPLUP tomorrow. But yeah, guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Hope to see you guys again next time. And until then, take care. Wrong button.